You need to live each day like, this is it. There's no, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to this. I'm gonna make this beat tomorrow. No, because no day is promised. No day is promised. And what do you want your legacy to be? You just putting stuff like keep pushing shit back? Like, nah.
1, 2, yeah. Come on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, sir, you are tuned in. This is for the SB1200, ASR 10s and NPC heroes. This is for the crate digging, loop getting, sound manipulators, the Fruity Loop reasoning machine innovators that pump the bass and frequently freak the kick in a stand till it slaps in your speakers. The sound providers that make sure the song is tight. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding live. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding live.
Welcome to the Beats Grinding Life podcast with your host, Siren, a weekly interview podcast with inspiring music producers, where every week you will learn from a different music producer how to potentially take your music career to the next level.
What's up, Beat Grinders? This is another episode of Beats Grinding Life. I'm your host, Siren Beats, and with us today we have Kamiko.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? Kamiko, also known as Kamikowrites, is an up-and-coming songwriter and aspiring artist based out of the Philadelphia area. She has been writing and recording songs since she was 14 years old. All that hard work has paid off. She has worked with super producers The Olympicks, past Beats Grinding Life guests The Ratchet Gxds, as well as Evo, Bangallure, Oscrowley, and many more. Yo, what's up, Kamiko? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Man, I am just thrilled to have you on this show. Like I told you before, I've been watching you from afar and just seeing you just grinding hard at working with some major people, and I'm just happy to have you up on here.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. I'm honored.
No doubt. So, if you don't mind, I just read a brief intro on you. If you can expand on that and let the Beat Grinders know a little more about who you are, that'd be great.
All right. Well, I'm Kamiko, aka Kamikowrites. Been doing music for some time now. I actually started with my father. My father's a musician. Mm-hmm. So it was basically like Selena all day, every day. Get up, practice an instrument before you could go outside type of situation.
Dope.
And I hated it. I hated it. But, after a while, I started to appreciate, everything my father, said to me, mm-hmm. Everything he's instilled in me, how much of a, perfectionist I am, because if he didn't instill those things in me, then obviously I wouldn't be having this conversation with you right now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much a background of why I'm in music, in the first place.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. Props to your dad for doing that. I want to know what instruments did he start you off with, and also when did it turn from hatred of playing those instruments and doing music to a love?
He started me on bass because my father's a bass player.
Okay.
And it was always because, when he would come off tour, I would always be, over his shoulder saying, what are you playing? How do you do this? And,
mm-hmm.
I was daddy's little girl. I was always there. And, I have a brother as well, so it was always me and him. He was on the drums. I was on the bass.
Nice.
And I hated it because it was challenging, mm-hmm. just like any other kid. If they can't get it right away, they feel like, oh, well, this isn't meant for me.
Right. But, this isn't fun anymore.
Right, like, why am I doing this? Why does my hands hurt? Like, why I didn't get the logic in any of that. Mm-hmm. But, I started to love it when I realized, when I didn't practice or when I didn't sing, my day didn't go as well as as I'd hoped. Or, fellow musicians that I would talk to, you know, always being around my dad's, you know, crowd, or, you know, my dad's crowd's children were all musicians, and those were the only people who I felt I connected to.
Nice.
And who understood me and what we were going through. So that's when I realized, you know, when music could determine my day, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Nice.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Dad. I get it. My bad.
That's,
you know.
That's dope. So do you still play the bass at all?
I do. I do every once in a while, but, you know, since my father is a bass player, I'm like, you know what, Dad, can you lay these bass tracks for me?
Right.
You know, like, and I kind of, you know, expanded more, you know, into my writing and things like that. Not only because it's intriguing to me, but because, you know, it's a real challenge for me to always, you know, elevate my writing and be different. So since there's so many writers out there to begin with. Right.
So. That's dope. I mean, I heard back in the day, Prince told Beyonce that he thought that she should play, I can't remember if it was either the bass or the guitar, because he said every singer needs to know how to play an instrument. And so,
no doubt.
So, man, it sounds like you're spot on. You're right there, and you know your dad is setting you up for a successful career. So that's what's up.
Most definitely.
Okay. Who did your dad play for?
My dad played for Regina Belle, Shaka Khan, Gerald Levert. You know, so he's an old school cat. You know, he traveled the world, and you know, all of these things were really amazing to me. That music could take you all over the world, and I found this out, you know, at a young age. You know, so. That's why it's nothing that I could do to get music out of my life, because it started way too early, and I'm pretty sure my father would not allow me to not do music at this point.
Right.
Like, he'll be like, "What are you doing? Like,
what are you doing with your life?
Get it together."
Right. Okay, that's what's up. If you don't mind, what's his name, so that we might be able to look him up?
His name is Carl McNeil Sr. A lot of people call him Senior. We're actually going to do daddy-daughter sessions, and I'll start posting them on my lives and doing small videos on my Instagram. Nice. Because I feel like there should be more units like that. You know, there's not a lot of families who can, you know, work together, and especially in the music industry. So if I can, you know, have put a stage for it and show that it can actually work and it be a daddy-daughter situation, I felt like that not only would be a bonding experience for me and my father, but it, you know, it will inspire other people to know that it's okay to be different. Like, it's fine. It's fine to be locked in a studio for 8-9 hours with no sleep and no food. Like, it's cool. Like, it happens to everybody.
Yeah. Nice. So, that's what's up. Well, Beat Grinders, y'all be on the lookout for that. I know I definitely will. I'll be on Kamiko's Instagram looking for that. So that's what's up. I mean, I know I have a daughter myself, and she's always in my little beat room studio and banging away on the keyboard, and so I'm kind of looking at you guys as an example, and definitely want to get her into music. So that's what's up.
Whip her into shape now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Get it in now. I'm telling you, she might hate you for a second, but she'll appreciate it, most definitely. So
that's what's up.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to know who were some of the musicians that inspired you besides your father along on your musical journey so far?
Well, you said my father, so that's one. Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, Layla Hathaway, Maria Muldaur, Faith Evans, a lot, you know, I Celia Cruz. Like, I listen to so many different artists. Even today, Cadence, Aaliyah, her, Frank Ocean. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot. Janelle Monáe. Just a lot of people who are true to themselves and are not afraid to be different. You know, even Rihanna, like, I love Rihanna because she's just like, F it, this is who I am, and if you don't like it, I really don't care. Like, I love artists like that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, same here. I mean, I think Rihanna is, she's very commercial, but at the same time, she's a trendsetter. Like, her sound is commercial because a lot of people are following her lead. So
exactly.
Yeah.
People can sing like, no, I don't care what anyone says. No one can sing like her. Like, no one can have the attitude in a song like her, which is why I always gravitate. Cause let's be like, for real. Like, could you really hear like anybody else sing "Bitch Better Have My Money"? Of course not. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, it's not like Mariah Carey cannot sing that song. You know, so only she can pull stuff off like that. So yeah, definitely. That's
dope. Well, I love your list of influences. All those artists to me are real artists, and I can definitely see why you are influenced by all of them. I mean, one person that stuck out to me, I mean, some of the newer people definitely stick out. Like you said, Cadence, we've had her on the show before. Your boy JFK, he put me onto her, and I've had her on repeat, non-stop.
Yes.
Man, both albums, and you know, I mean, like I tell my wife, hey, if I'm listening to R&B at the gym, you know it has to be good, because I mean, it pumps me up somehow. I don't know how, but you know, yeah, I'm in love with her right now. So yeah, well, that's cool. That's cool. Everybody else on that list, I'm definitely writing it all down, and I'm definitely gonna go and listen to all those people that you mentioned. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
You are welcome, sir.
For sure. What moment in your career would you consider the greatest thus far?
I have to break it into two. One for me was when I actually covered one of Cadence's songs, Codependence, which was actually one of my favorite songs. The album came out the second day. I came to my room. I said, you know what? Like, let me just do this. I feel it in my spirit. Let me just, you know, cover this song and see what happens. You know, I had no idea. So I covered the song and I tagged her in it. I tagged Ratchet Gxds and everybody in it. And she commented on it, and it, you know, I was just like, oh shit, like people bang with this, like
especially her.
The video has horrible quality, like it's just the worst. But the fact that, you know, people got what I was trying to do, and she loved it, and she's the artist who sang it, you know, that was everything to me, especially because they actually put that video on the iStandard page. And I've never done an iWrite. I've never, you know, been affiliated with iStandard prior to that. So a moment like that for me was like the turning point. Like, okay, people are paying attention. I need to get my shit together. You know, like there's no room, you know, to mess up at this point. So definitely that moment for me was gratifying, and just the fact as a writer, a lot of writers have trouble finding producers, yet dope producers who feel comfortable enough to send them music. And I've starting to get to the point where people are comfortable enough to send me things without me begging, you know, without me having to jump through loopholes, because they genuinely think that I'm dope. And that feeling is the most gratifying feeling that any songwriter can have. I don't care what anybody says, like, because it's hard out here and everybody wants their coin, you know. So you have to believe in whoever you're working with in order to entrust them with that money ticket, which is that track.
Right. And I mean, you know, it's easy to, well, it's not always easy to believe in yourself, but a lot of us do believe that we're dope, you know, even if we are or we're not. But to also get that confirmation from other people and for them to believe in you and think that you're dope and send you music, you know, I mean, that just has to be the greatest feeling ever, you know.
the feeling of knowing that I'm not crazy this whole time.
Right.
Like, I'm not, because I have so many conversations with myself about music and how I want to, articulate it and express it in my own way.
Right.
And, when I tell other people, they're like, sorry, I don't understand, So when you're finally in the loop, in the mix of things, and people dig what you're doing, they're like, I get why you did that harmony. I get why you said that. That's dope. You're just like, oh, okay, so this is what it feels like to be normal.
Right. Right.
I get it.
It makes sense to other people. That has to be dope. That has to be dope. So that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, good for you, and hopefully you're gonna keep having moments like that, and even bigger moments like that in the near future. So, all right. Well, I want to know, what's your creative process like when you're writing a song?
It varies. Honestly, it varies. A lot of the time, it can be sprung off of a TV show. It could be sprung off of a thought, a text message. But if I were to just go into the studio, I'll literally just vibe out. I'll turn a track on from a producer that whoever sent me something, and I'll turn the mic on and I'll just freestyle.
Nice.
I'll just freestyle the whole thing, and then I'll do it maybe once or twice, and then I'll write the song if I have to write it. But I feel like that's the best way to authentically get the vibe of the song correctly, instead of forcing something that's not there.
Right. That's dope. That's dope. Just getting the idea out first, and then go on with it. Okay. Well, I want to know, if you don't mind telling us, what was the last TV show that inspired you?
Probably Power.
Nice. I should have known. There's so much to write about.
Right. Because you already, obviously, I see that or hear that you watched the show.
I've seen a few episodes. I want to watch it. I just feel like I never have the time to sit down and watch a show. I don't watch very much TV, so. But I'm one season down. I need to get through the rest of the seasons. But I know I move slow.
Listen, don't feel bad. I literally binge watched all of it because I was tired of people saying, "Oh my God, did you see Power? Oh my God,
right,
oh my God!" And I'm like, "What is the hype?" And then I'm like, 8 hours later, my hair's disheveled. I'm eating popcorn, and I'm like, got the same work clothes on I had on the day before. Like, I'm like, how did we get here? Why is this happening? Like, Netflix is like, you're still watching? I'm like, you know what? Leave me alone.
Right, don't
and go to the goddamn next channel.
You know what? I think I will. It's one of those things where, every time, like my wife yesterday, she said, I'm going to put on Power. And I was like, no, because I'm not, I won't be able to watch it. And when I want to watch it, she's not ready. And, it's just one of, we just gotta make time for it. And we're going to have to do it.
I had to do it. Like, you can't be in this. I find everybody in this industry knows about Power.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then it's always that one person, which was me for a little bit, that was just like, what are you guys talking about?
Right.
What is Power? And then you get the get out. Like, you get that response.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I can't. I guess I'll conform and watch.
Yeah. Right? I piss a lot of people off because I tell them, don't tell me, because I do plan on watching it one day. So don't spoil it for me. Don't.
Yeah, I won't tell you anything. That's why I just said I watched Power, and then I went to the studio and I was like, it's about to go down.
Nice. I got material for days.
For days.
Nice. Okay. What show I thought you were going to say for some reason was Insecure?
That was actually my second show that I watched. Like, Power was the last one. Insecure is way too much like my life. Just so random. Like, my life has always been so random. The most random things happen to it. So yeah, I that's why I relate more to Power, because it's something a little bit more unorthodox and not, in relation to my life as much.
Right.
So, all the dramatic, theatrical storylines and everything come from Power. And you might listen to a few of my songs like, oh, this is from Insecure. I'm like, nah, B, like this happened. Like this really happened. Like
dope. Okay, well, I mean, it sounds like you have one interesting life, one hell of a life. So I want to know what does a typical day look like for you?
Now, it's pretty boring now.
Okay.
I work. I was working 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. Sometimes 1 p.m.
I know that life.
Yeah, I'm a chef, so
okay.
I had to do that and come home, record, eat, maybe repeat. like throw some henny in there, you know, black henny. So, and then I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Man, that sounds like a pretty good day right there. I mean, nice. That get up and grind at 5 a.m. I mean, I know all about that. I'm a meat cutter, so I had to be at work at 5 most days and do the same. But yeah, and then you said you get off and you get right to it, get on the music. You know, that's your biggest priority, and everything else falls second. So
yeah, pretty much. If I go out, it's like, oh shit, I forgot I have friends. My bad.
Speaking of that, I mean, like, what? I mean, because I'm kind of the same way. I have friends, and I mean, what am I? I have friends, but yeah, I have friends too. But
I just spoke to them.
But you know what? The thing is like, it's so hard when you're trying to do music and when you're trying to do other things, because I mean, you're spending all of your time working on music. I mean, it almost feels like you're neglecting your friends by not hanging out with them. You know, I mean, do you feel the same way? Or
very slightly, not really, only because, you know, at least 90% of my friends are in the music business.
Nice.
So
dope.
So everybody kind of generally understands.
I tend to neglect my relationship with friends because I do have a lot of friends that aren't in the music business, but I mean, so I can't kindle those relationships. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I mean, I feel like I have a higher purpose, you know, to do music and to do podcasts with musicians like yourself. So, you know, lucky you, 90% of your friends are musicians. So that's the way it should be, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't like I intentionally did it. It was just since I generally started to put myself in the mix more, and it was just like the people that I work with were just cool, you know, and that's initially how it happened. I'm pretty sure if I didn't have this music, I would be Lonely Betty somewhere, not knowing how to socialize. But but it definitely helps with collaborations to, you know, not just build like networking opportunities, but business relationships that turn into genuine friendships with people.
Nice. Dope. That's what's up. Okay. Since being a writer is kind of behind the scenes and there's not many avenues to display your talents, besides like I write, which you mentioned earlier, which is an iStandard thing, what's the best way that you think a writer can get exposure?
A couple things. Social media, and putting yourself in the mix when they have, you know, different listening parties, which is easy to find out on social media.
Right.
You just have to be in the mix in some way. So what I did was I used Instagram to my advantage and just started doing covers for different songs with my harmonies, because I love harmonies. And I figured if I pick songs that people are familiar with and have my own twist with it, automatically I'm not only going to draw, you know, fans and you know, a following, but I'll draw in producers, because producers a lot of the times have trouble finding vocalists who not only can sing but they can arrange.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So if you're a vocalist, if you're a songwriter who can actually arrange, then definitely covers in your own way are the way to go. And and just reaching out from there, and it's 100% guaranteed to work if you're consistent with it.
Dope.
So
dope. Okay, that's what's up. Well, beat grinders and writers, I hope that you guys are listening to the advice that Kamiko has given. That was some great advice, so I appreciate that. That's dope. Okay. All right. Well, you have worked with some well-accomplished producers like the Olympicks, the Ratchet Gxds, Oscrowley, and others. What are qualities that you look for in a producer when you're working with them?
Communication, being open-minded, and leaving room for the writer to actually create. Only because, and it's no disrespect to anybody who, produces and they love putting so many things on their tracks, because I understand. My father's a producer, I understand the whole concept of how the whole process goes, but if you're in the industry to play songs, if you're in the industry to play scores and things of that nature, you have to leave room for whoever is going to be collabing with you.
Yep, nice.
So for instance, with me, if you're sending me a track, I need to be able to create something that not only enhances what you're doing, but also shows what I could do at the same time. It can't be, like a 80-20 situation where you're so busy on the track that I can only be monotone the whole way. You know what I mean? Unless it calls for something like that. But majority of the time, you just have to leave that space. So definitely. Communication, obviously, because you want to know what the vibe is in general for the whole track. If they have a certain way they want you to write, say, I want you to do this so we could try to get it to Rihanna or we could get it to Ariana, like that communication is imperative so nobody's time is wasted.
Nice.
And open-mindedness, because a lot of times, either the producer or the songwriter can be, so gung-ho with their idea that they don't hear another, banging idea that, the producer or the songwriter has on the opposing end. So you have to be open-minded and compromise with one another in order for everything to come out the way that you both plan for it to come out, or even better. Wow.
Well, I mean, you knocked that question out the park. I mean, I don't know how you can add to that or make that answer any better. I mean, spelled it out for all the producers listening. Wow, that was great. I mean, one thing that I take away from that is, you said the 50-50 between the artist and the producer. You're both showcasing your art, and so producers, you don't want to do too much to where the artist can't showcase who they are. And when you're putting all those instruments in a song, you got to remember the voice is an instrument too, and so you gotta leave room for that. So man, thank you for all of that. I'm definitely going to write those down and keep that with me, so when I work with a writer or a singer, I can definitely keep those in mind. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. All right. Well, this next portion of the interview I like to call In the Mix. It's kind of like rapid fire. We're going to speed things up just a little bit. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to give me quick answers. But if you need to take your time to get your point across, please do. Okay? You ready?
All right. I'm ready.
Okay. What do you prefer writing songs to? Songs with samples or songs without samples?
Without.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
Because at least from my perspective, it's a lot of people that I work with or want to work with that they make their own sounds that sound like a sample, but it's not. You know what I mean? So it's no reason to have a sample if the producer is dope. Nice. So it just showcases them more. So yeah. Okay.
Who are some of the producers that you do want to work with in the future?
That's Dr. Dre, Timbo, Focus Dots, Symphony, Ratchet Gxds, Justice League, Olympics, dope people like this. I would love to work with them. Only because everybody who I've mentioned has a distinct sound that I can learn from. So So yeah.
Those are some great producers right there. I'm gonna do everything that I can to put Siren on that list too. So.
Hey, we working already, baby.
Yeah, we are working. We're working on the podcast. I mean music. So
we working. We got information. We in there. Don't even worry about
it. Okay, I'm not worried about it. No longer worried. So all right. Well, I want to know, do you have a book that you think every musician should read? And it doesn't have to be music related.
I have How I Left My Job by J Hatch.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Definitely a good read. And it is another book. I cannot remember the author, but it's called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And it initially tells you and enlightens you on how to speak your dreams into fruition, make positive things happen for you, because everything starts with your mindset.
Right.
So if you have the proper mindset, then you can do anything that you want to do.
Dope. Okay.
100%.
That's what's up. Well, the Jay Hatch's book, How I Left My Job, that has been mentioned on here many a times, but I will leave a link to that book on the website, and the other book that you mentioned as well. I'm gonna find the author and leave that link on the website. So, Beat Grinders, you guys can go there and find those books. All right. Well, thank you for those suggestions. What was the second one called again?
The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Okay.
Yeah, Power of the Subconscious Mind, yes.
All right, is there an internet resource that you use that you think every musician can benefit from? And when I say internet resource, I mean a website or a mobile app.
Instagram, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Instagram, Snapchat, anything like that. Mostly Instagram for me, because it's easier for people to follow you and see what you do. Because people's train of thoughts and everything, they only want to see something for 5 seconds to realize if they like it or not like it.
Right.
And with Instagram, like you could do it really fast. Snapchat, you could do it really fast, and they can see if they bang with you or not. And it's free.
That's the best price.
It's free 99. You can't beat that. You can't beat free 99.
That's what's up. Okay, well, man, both of those are great suggestions. I know I use both of them, both social media platforms, and yeah, they're great. So thank you. Okay. All right. What producers are on? I mean, this is a show about 4 producers, so I want to know what producers are on your Mount Rushmore. 4 producers.
Quincy Jones. Dr. Dre. Timbo. And Focus Dots.
Nice.
They're definitely up there. If it was a 5th one, it would be Ratchet Gxds, most definitely.
Nice. Okay. Okay. I'm rocking with that. I like that. All of those to me are legendary producers. I mean, if people listen to this show and they know me, they know my favorite producer is Focus. Hands down. I mean, he may not be everyone else's favorite, but just for his resume and some of the things that he's done, I mean, I love his music and his sound. I connect with him so much.
He's just nasty.
He is.
He is just nasty. Like, what are you? How are you doing this?
Man, I think that all the time, man. But all those producers have had an influence on me, and so I can definitely see how they're up on your Mount Rushmore, and especially the newcomers up there, Ratchet Gxds. I mean, I look up to all those guys so much. They're creating a sound, and I describe them the same way you describe Focus, as nasty. They have a nasty sound. Yeah,
they're on some next level shit that I really have to like sit down and try to dissect, which I can't, some of the times, because they're all 3 completely different people, and that's why their sound sounds the way it does. And I feel like there's a lot of people who try to imitate it, but it can't be emulated correctly because they don't have JFK, Kane, and Sound Junk. It's no way.
No way you're going to. No way you're going to. So I would suggest this is what I do. I listen to their music, and instead of trying to duplicate it and copy it, just try to do your own thing. Just use it as inspiration and just try to do your own thing. So you can't beat those guys.
It's for.
Yep, exactly.
Just like there never is going to be another Quincy Jones. There's never going to be another Dr. Dre. Like, all you can do is continue to be an excellent student. That's it.
Yep. So true. So true. Okay. All right, well, I want you to imagine that you just woke up from a dream, and in that dream, you had the perfect studio session. And in that studio session, you have one artist in there with you, a producer, an engineer, and one random person. Who are those 4 people going to be?
Well, the artist would be Caden.
Okay.
But hear me out on this. So I vision like Cadence with Dr. Dre. And I kind of figure it would either be Susan Rogers as the engineer, because she engineered Prince, so she has like a really eclectic sound, and so does Cadence.
Yep.
Or Young Guru, because he does Jay-Z, and she has that feel as well. But I feel, and I would be the random person, just like the fly on the wall.
No, you can't be you can't be the random person. You can't be. You can't get up. You would definitely be part of the process.
Only because, I feel it's imperative for people to be humble and for them to continuously learn as much as they can learn. So I can only imagine what it would be like to be in a session with Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? Because nobody can mix like that dude. Nobody out here can mix like him. He has a distinct style.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel like that collab definitely would be dope. Cadence and Dr. Dre would definitely be dope.
Yeah, it would. And there's no better way to learn than hands-on. So that's why I'm saying they want you to be part of the process. So I need you to pick a random person.
God. Probably my dad.
Dope. Nice.
Most definitely my dad, only because I owe everything to him. So if I'm ever in, like, if I've somehow come across an invitation to Dr. Dre's studio, like, I better bring my father, because he's the reason why I'm in this in the first place. Like, he probably would disown me if I didn't bring him. Like really, you just took the base and ran, huh? Like, that's how you feel. I would definitely bring my father. I feel like that would just be a pivotal moment in our lives, and we're just like, you know what, we did good. We did what we were supposed to do.
That's awesome. I love all those. I love Dr. Dre and I love Cadence. I think you said her name is Susan Roberts.
Susan Rogers.
Susan Rogers.
She engineered for Prince.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I wasn't familiar with her. Apparently, obviously, I'm familiar with her work, but man, and then to have your dad be a part of it, that's a great way to show gratitude, to him. And so I love that answer. That's pretty dope. I hope it happens. I really do.
You got to speak it into existence. That's what we got to do.
Right. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait till it happens.
Well, thank you, sir.
No doubt. Okay. All right. What's your favorite song that you have ever been a part of?
It has to be. I did a song called "Torn." I'm in a process of trying to get it placed, but if it's not, if it doesn't stick the way I want it to, it might be like a single of mine, because I love the song. It's a collaboration between me, my father, and 1/3 of Ratchet Gxds, JFK.
Nice.
So it was definitely a magical moment, because we're all extremely musical, and with my harmonies and how everything played out, I can literally listen to the song like over and over and over again and not be upset at all.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, I can't wait until we get to hear it. Whether someone else is singing it or whether it's your single. Can't wait to hear Torn.
Thank you.
Dope. That's dope. Okay. All right. Well, what's an album besides one that you worked on that you recommend every producer listen to, and why?
Childish Gambino's "Awaken My Love." Only because, like, what was he thinking when he made this record? Like, what were you thinking? Like, all the progressions that he made like all the chord progressions, and you know, it reminded me a lot of Quincy Jones and some of Stevie and Van Hunt, Prince, all of these people. Like it just reminded me of all of these people, and for someone to do that now, I feel like it's a special moment in time that people don't really. I feel like people don't really honor it because they're just so all over the place, you know. Right. So definitely, this album, just get a beer or get your Henny or whatever you want, and just push play. You know, pick your poison and push play, and just like go on that trip with this dude, because he really did his thing on this album. Yeah, he did. I mean, and he stepped out of his comfort zone, or well, we're used to hearing him. You know, I was expecting to hear him rap, and so I was turned off at first, and a coworker played it for me, and man, I was blown away the second time I heard it. I was like, wow, this album is pretty good, and so I'm just now getting back on it. And yeah, I'm amazed by the work that he's done, and for someone that I've known as to be a rapper, you know, I think it's an excellent job by him. So definitely. So whoever's listening, Childish Gambino, "Awaken My Love." Just be open-minded. You gotta be open-minded when you hear it, but when you hear it, you'll know it's real. Yep, no doubt. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Beat Grinders, I'm gonna put a link on the website, and like Kamiko said, man, you gotta go hear it. And be open as well. So okay, all right. Well, I want you to imagine that you woke up tomorrow and you lost everything that you had except for your knowledge, everything that you learned, that your dad taught you and that you learned along the way, and $1,000. What would you do in the next week to restart your career? I would get a phone. Honestly, like I would get an iPhone and like a mic attachment so I could record, because you know, with a phone you could damn near do anything. Right. And as a songwriter, you could get GarageBand. People can still send you tracks, put the track on GarageBand and record your demo. You know, boom, you have a placement. So I literally all I need is my phone and a mic, and that's it. I'll work from there. Wow, I didn't know it was that easy. That's pretty dope. Damn. Okay. I mean, I guess I could have connected the pieces like GarageBand on your phone. I mean, I just never did. That's what's up. Okay. Yeah. I'm blown away. As a songwriter, it's just easier for people who are can't easily go to a studio. You know, so they can just put down their ideas, and as long as they have the idea and they have the knowledge and they know the people, then trust and believe, shit will get done. You know, you just have to continue to have that drive. Okay. All right. Well, Kamiko, I know that you are, I mean, it appears to be that you're a gearhead, that you know your software and your hardware. And so I want to know, what plugin do you think every producer that's recording a singer-songwriter should have in their arsenal? They should have the CLA compressor. Nice. Only because it makes things a lot easier for if you are recording the artist or singer-songwriter, and you want to send it off as stems to get mixed. A good compressor, good compression is all you really need. You don't need to add anything else. Even if you have like the auto-tune, most producers, most engineers have it. So that's why I say the compressor, because it's imperative. Okay. Dope. Okay. That's what's up. The CLA compressor, is that part of the Waves bundle? Yes. Nice. Okay. All right. Well, I want to know, when it's all said and done, when you have to wrap up your career, I mean, I'm sure you'll never ever stop singing and writing, but but when it's all over, what do you want your legacy to be? that I did what I wanted to do and I was happy doing it. Like it was never a moment where I conformed and did what everybody else wanted me to do. Like, I want people to be inspired by my journey on all of my downfalls, doubting myself. I completely walked away from music for a couple years before I got back into it. So I know there's a lot of people who do the same thing. They run away and just don't run away. Right. I want them to think Kamiko never ran away from what she was supposed to do, and she did the damn thing unapologetically.
Well, I mean, what made you come back? Was it just the love after you ran away?
It was, I felt like I was missing something. This is around when I was in college, because I actually went to culinary college. Okay. I have my degree in the culinary department.
So you are a real chef.
Yeah. Yeah. I could do a little shopping, you know. But no, yeah, I was all the way in Orlando, Florida, away from my studio. And you would think I was working at Disney World, so you would think I was like good. I didn't need to do, anything. But I came home and I went to an open mic in Philly at the Underground Arts. And I literally dropped to my knees and started crying because it was a void that I felt like it was starting to get bigger and bigger because I wasn't doing music. So when I finally went to an open mic and I sang and I heard all the musicians, Philly musicians, singers, songwriters, up and coming artists, it was such an overwhelming feeling, like I'm at home, and that's when I told myself, like, I can't keep running from this anymore. I can't. I have to accept who I am as an artist, who I am as a writer, as a musician, or whatever be the case, and roll with that and stay in my lane, and since then I can't step away.
That's dope. Well, I'm glad you can't step away. I'm glad that you're blessing the world and with your music. That's great. I'm glad that you're doing it because you got to come on here, and I mean, you're inspiring me, and I'm sure you're inspiring other songwriters and other producers that are listening to this. So thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much.
No doubt. Okay, well, I want to know what advice, I mean, you just gave this whole interview, you've been giving great advice to all of us, but what advice would you give to the singers, songwriters, and producers that are trying to make it in the industry today?
Know who you are before you start collabing with everybody. Be confident in who you are and what you can bring to the table. Because once you start to conform, once you start to become what that producer wants you to be, you are no longer different, and you lose value.
No doubt.
So figure out what your niche is in this writing game and this arranging game, and capitalize on that. Don't try to be like anybody else, because you can't. You won't be.
Nice. Thank you for that. I mean, it kind of seems like to me, the ones that are trying to be like other people, the ones that aren't genuinely themselves are the ones that are here for a short amount of time. The ones that stay the longest are the ones that give you who they are genuinely,
Exactly. So, don't compromise. You gotta be yourself.
Yep. That's dope. Thank you for that advice. That is what's up. Okay. All right. Well, if you have any more words for the listeners, please let us know. If you want to let us know what you're working on, how we can contact you. If you want to be contacted, please do.
Okay. Well, in order to contact me, you can go on Instagram. It's at at Kamikowrites, Kamiko Rights, WRITES, for any business inquiries or collaborations that you want to have. Hit me up. I'm more than open to collaborate and make a catalog, make music, make placements. As far as any other words, I would just say just keep going. Don't let anybody stop you from what God put in place for you.
Nice.
Because you don't know what he has for you at the end of the tunnel.
Yep. Nice. There's that story. I might get it wrong, but I think it's called like 3 Feet Away from Gold. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also Eminem, he almost gave up right before, he made his break. But a lot of people feel like they need to stop right before that big break, and I think it just shows you cannot stop because you never know when it's going to come.
You never know. Like, who would have known? I've been singing since I was 14. I've been writing since I was 14. After the whole situation, I came back home around November. I started going dumb hard in my writing, for like 4 or 5 months after that. And I've collabed with over 7 producers since then. Nice.
Wow.
And that's only because I chose to not give up anymore. No is not in my equation when it comes to this game anymore. I can't is not in this equation anymore because you can't think that way.
Right.
You cannot allow yourself to stop yourself from growth, whether it be a failure or it be a success.
Nice. That's what's up. Dropping more gems. No, I definitely appreciate it. That's what's up. Okay, well, Kamiko, thank you for this interview. Really appreciate it. I know I've gained some insight into your world, and I'm sure all the beat grinders have as well. We've also gained some inspiration and some motivation to keep going for the next week. So, thank you. We appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me, sir. I appreciate you. You loyal.
no doubt. Loyal to the soil. So
loyal to the soil.
No
and
doubt.
You understand that this becomes the beginning of us collaborating with each other. So no, this was definitely killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
No
you passed
doubt.
the test.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Beat grinders, you guys know that this show I like to set up as a mentorship, and so you already know this week you have been mentored by Kamiko. So you guys keep grinding, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
All right, man. Peace.
Here at Beats Grinding Life, we want to thank you for listening to another episode. We want to know, what were your biggest takeaways from this interview? Just go to beatsgrindinglife.com and leave a comment on this episode's show notes page. Also, while you are there, go subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just click the little button that says subscribe. If you could, please leave a rating and review. Rating and reviews are the best way to show your appreciation because it helps more people find out about the podcast. So until next week's episode, keep grinding.